Holding on to something in a white straight jacket. September days in the past, it happened. Moving to the function, I attract them like a magnet. See me down Abbott. Hey there, Armor here. Welcome back, guys, to the Armavation channel. Today I have another very special guest for another Armavation conversation. She is an independent music, female, hip-hop, rap artist. Yeah. Please, everyone, give it up for J.Plantana.
Thank you for having me. Very much appreciated. Yeah, that's me. I'm J.Plantana. I'm a female rapper. I'm from Michigan, specifically the Detroit area, but you can catch me in Lansing sometimes too. So yeah. So thanks for having me again, and I'm very excited to talk about some stuff.
Well, we're glad to have you, J.Plantana, always.
Thank you.
I always call her J. It's easier for me, and I think it's cool.
Thank you. Yeah, I did that on purpose, so people can have a little nickname.
Yeah. So today, guys, we're basically just gonna have a chill conversation talking about women in the music industry, specifically talking about I guess our experience being a woman in music. So, and also we're gonna go down and talk about different mental health topics. Yeah. So, I guess my tongue. Let's just get started. Okay, so first of all, Jay, just let everyone know, how long have you been doing music for?
Yeah, so I didn't put anything out back then, but I started rapping in 2018, and I started putting music out in 2019. I wasn't super heavy on the promotion. I didn't really know a lot of other rappers for a while, but I got my stuff out there at least, which is a good start, and just kind of had fun with it, and I still am.
Yeah.
Although I'm taking promo and stuff a bit more serious now. I'd say I got really serious about it, or at least relatively serious about it, like late 2021. So that's when things have started taking off.
Oh yeah, I started in I would say 2020, and I didn't start doing like collaborations or like promoting or anything till like 2021, like late 2021.
Me too.
Yeah. So I feel like this year we're kind of like paddling the boat. We're going.
For sure.
Okay. So yeah, let's get into it. Women in the industry. So what has been your experience being a female in the music industry, and especially being a part of the hip hop community?
I'd say it's very different for each genre. Like, I have a friend who does like bedroom pop, and like although she's not involved in the community as much, she's definitely probably not facing as much like sexism, because bedroom pop is a very female dominated genre, and it's something that she fits right into in terms of demographics. But for like female rappers, it's just like a lot of like tokenizing, at least for me. A lot of people say like, oh, you're unlike these other female rappers because you don't rap about sex, or like you don't talk about this, and you actually talk about like issues that matter, and it's like I don't really think that's a way we should be judging people.
Yeah.
That is still sexism. It's still it's just I happen to be excluded, but it's like it's still very offensive.
Yeah.
And that's the main issue I'd say with it. Obviously, I wouldn't give it up for the world. That stuff is something I can work around, but
of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was, because that was one of my questions too. I was gonna ask you, do you feel like female singers have it easier than female rappers? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't say easier. I think more just different, because, you still have issues like with Kesha and the whole Dr. Luke thing, if you're familiar with that.
Oh, yeah, definitely, yeah.
Yeah. Any industry really is going to have oppression towards women in it. I think it's just different for each. I think it might be a bit harder in hip-hop, but it also just depends on, like, what areas of hip-hop you're hanging out with. I've learned to avoid areas of the industry, at least online, where people are going to not be receptive. So,
yeah,
you just got to pick and choose your circles.
So what was like one of the challenging situations you did face, or like what you're currently dealing with as far as like working with music as a female in this industry?
Yeah, I think a big one I was dealing with was just like people trying to hit on me, like vibrators.
Right.
It's been a while since that happened. I set some boundaries. For a while I had in like my Instagram and my rap fame bio like, don't DM me unless it's about music.
Right.
And that just kind of kept people away. But like especially on rap fame, like I was getting harassed a lot. Just like whatever creepy comments, and the app wouldn't let me delete DMs.
Okay.
So I would always, whenever I was scrolling through my DMs, I'd like keep seeing them.
Right.
Not a great app, by the way. It needs improvement.
Oh yeah,
it's a good, yeah.
Before you go on, just if you could just let people know what rap fame is in case.
Oh yeah, sorry.
It's fine.
Yeah, so Rap Fame, I mean it's a fine app, but it's like it's basically where you can sort of like publish your own like sort of amateur raps, and it's a really good way to get practice.
Mm-hmm.
They have like beats on there you can select. They have like contests, stuff like that. It is really fun. It just has issues, of course, like
Of
any other app
course,
does.
yeah, yeah.
But you know, it's really fun. But yeah, that was like the main issue I'd say is like the harassment.
Mm-hmm.
But that's deterred a little bit as I've moved away from Rap Fame because partly of for that reason because people on there can be a little bit, you know, a little bit much.
I didn't know if you
But you know,
mentioned. I'm sorry. Did you
no,
was
you're fine.
there a way to report people on Rat Fame?
There likely is.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't think I have before, and that's definitely something I should have done.
Mm-hmm.
I think I might have tried. Or maybe I did. I don't know. But some of the behavior wasn't really like as direct harassment. It was more just like sort of condescending, you know,
Right. Right.
like undertones of like being like a little bit sexist, you know.
Yeah.
So probably nothing really report worthy, but something you could just kind of sense under the surface.
Yeah.
I
So
think that's also a huge
it was
issue.
just like little microaggression.
Microaggressions. Yep, that's the
Yeah.
word.
Okay. Yeah, cause I feel like what you just said there is important. Like just setting boundaries. That's the biggest thing. Cause you know, I've had my issues or two. Like but
Mhm.
but setting boundaries is just really important. Especially like when you're in a male dominated field,
Mhm.
and it's more important because like people, just because you're nice, people will run you over. I'm just gonna say it
Mhm.
like that, and it's unfortunate that you like being nice and kind gets taken for granted, you know what I'm saying?
For sure.
So
Yeah, you got to be kind of firm, especially if other people are also firm, you know?
yeah,
Um,
because the saying goes, people will treat you like you let them. So
yeah, that's a good saying.
yeah. Okay, so what this kind of goes hand in hand with what we were just saying, but was there ever a point in time where you felt your music was undervalued because of your gender, like your music
Ooh,
specifically?
interesting. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, oh, that's interesting.
Like if someone
I'd
was
say
like,
yeah.
it's like, oh, why is she talking about stuff like this? Cause
Right. I would say that because of the content of my music, which is generally more like conscious and more progressive, I
mhm.
would say no, not
Okay,
specifically about the music.
mhm,
It's more of just like my like how I present myself and like what I'm doing and like stuff like that.
right.
I'd actually say that. Actually, you know what? Never mind. I do have a situation where my music was undermined, but it was before they heard me.
Oh,
So I did this
okay.
open mic at a coffee shop, and I did a song that was kind of like chill, like jazzy. You know, I haven't released it yet.
Uh huh.
It's called Special Soup. It will be on my mixtape, by the way. It's
Oh,
very fun.
nice, nice plug,
Yeah,
plug.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. But the lady who hosted it, and it was supposed to be this whole thing about like being brave and like, you know, being yourself. But the
Yeah.
lady after I performed, she said, "I'm sorry I underestimated you." Which was weird because I'm like,
What?
why did you even make a judgment? And I know why she made a judgment because I'm like some white lady, you know, like I get it, but
What?
like keep that to yourself, you know. So she
Like, why
like,
did she
yeah,
say
since I
that?
have been because I think she just kind of lost her filter for a moment. I don't know, it was weird, but I appreciated her being like, you know, yeah, you did good, but like, you know, you think that
Yeah.
you would just keep that to yourself, but
On the
um,
bright side, she was at least being honest, but yeah, that.
true, true.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I think that was the situation where I got slightly undermined for my my abilities.
But
But
at
then you know I
that,
was able to redeem myself. So
yeah, I'm sorry, but at that time, were you surprised that it was another female that said that to you and not a male?
uh, a little bit, you know, I was
Mhm.
more surprised that because her whole thing it was because it was called like you know brave space like be brave be yourself. I was more surprised that she made a judgment after advertising the space for that. And
Right.
also yeah, as a woman, you would think that she would sort of like be like you know I understand that you're gonna get judged for this. I don't know. I think she just really hadn't been exposed to many female rappers, and I think she was just surprised.
Right.
But I hope that I helped her be a little bit more accepting.
Yeah. Uplift the sisters out here, okay?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So, um, I wanted to ask, based on your experience, was there any difference from working with male artists, like collaborating with male artists compared to female artists?
It's a good question. I think it depends. I think you're one of the only female people I've collaborated with.
Right.
Unfortunately, it's hard to find people in the genre who are open to collaborating. I don't know. It's just because I had the lack of exposure. I would say maybe like the subject matter of songs usually more my style with other women. I think that there's some shared experiences as women that, just something that you can sort of use to your advantage there.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would say there's not many differences. But I do want to collaborate with more female artists, and that's something I need to do for sure.
Yeah. When you have collaborated with male artists, did you ever feel the need to be like, oh, I gotta go hard because
Mm.
they sound like this or they have this You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right,
be-
like change my cadence or anything.
yeah, yeah,
Ooh, yeah, that's a good one. A little bit. I was on this song that was very like trap heavy, and I was like, I cannot sound like an idiot. Like, I need to make sure I sound a little crazy on here. It
yeah.
worked out well. I think my verse was good, but like, yeah, I get what you mean. You kind of have to like fit the vibe, and I think that applies to any song.
Mhm.
But yeah, especially like when it's like, I get what you mean. Like, of course, I try not to go on songs that like go against my morals or at least something I'm used to. Like,
Right.
I got invited to like a band lab project and it was about like killing, and I'm like, no,
Ooh.
like I'm not gonna pretend to be someone I'm not and try to like fit this
Exactly.
vibe. This is not gonna work. So I try not to do that. I try to still be myself no matter what.
Yeah, cause I feel like sometimes like some of the collabs I had, with guys that go into like straight boom bap and talking about like the heavy parts about life, the struggle and stuff. Like
Right.
I could relate to that also, but because my voice is so high pitched,
Oh,
I
yeah.
I don't want to sound like a kid compared to these like older guys, so I have to come off like, this is me, I'm real. But I feel like sometimes subconsciously we kind of like shape or change the way we fit into a song when we're working with certain people.
Oh, that's very true. Cause like yeah, no, that's true. I listen to like my verses back and I'm like, wow, like they sound all tough and I just sound all like a kind of whiny. Um, so yeah, I get what you mean. I think subconsciously, yeah, you sort of like as you're recording, either lowering or like, because like there's this one verse I was on, and like I kind of had a little bit more oomph in my voice. I was almost like yelling on the mic.
Yeah.
Like I definitely get what you mean. I get what you mean.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so with that being said, also, have you, like, this happened to me, but has anyone ever mistaken your, like, when they hear your music audio, have they ever mistaken you for a guy?
Oh my god. No, but they thought that like so I was in this server and I had to leave because like a guy called me an F slur. It was horrible.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, honestly unrelated to what I was gonna say. But
Mhm.
like this one guy was like, dude, I thought you were a dude just based on like how you're like typing in the chat and stuff. And then he like heard my song and was like, okay, this is very masculine. So I've gotten mistaken for a dude, but like not through my voice, I don't think. Although it's
Okay.
very possible that there's some people who just think I'm a guy and haven't seen my Instagram and just don't know. It's
Right,
possible.
right. Yeah, because I don't show my appearance, at the
Yeah.
moment. Like people, they're like, I either get, well, from some people, I either get, oh, they think I'm a young kid. So
Mm.
I'm like,
That's funny.
I know, it's like, I'm not a kid, okay? I'm not a young boy. I'm a young adult female here, okay? Like, but, I can't necessarily blame them because everyone voices sounds different, to
Hmm.
other, based on the individual. So it's like it is what it is. But I just find it funny. And I'm like, here we go again with the little kid uh, comparisons and everything. But yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm always scared like on video games that people think I'm like a little boy. Um, but
Yeah,
I don't know if that's ever happened.
I was playing Fortnite a few weeks ago, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Hey, what's up, guys?" And and then this one kid was like, "Who's this little kid?" I'm like, "You know what? I'm
Oh
out.
my
I'm out."
god. Yeah, no, that's when you got to turn off the mic for real.
Okay. Um. Okay. So, what's your mindset when writing a song? Like, so you're writing a song. When you come up with a certain topic you have in mind, what's your mindset about of writing a song that would cater more to like something I guess females can relate to versus like what males can relate to, if you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I try to make my songs really just authentic about me, whether
Yeah.
it's like and I hope that anyone can relate to things like, mental health and like
Mhm.
like my song fiction, like, critiquing a religion that I've been exposed to a lot and like stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's pretty much gender neutral. But
Mhm.
I will say that I don't try to cater to men, but I think that because I talk about women and because of like that I rap over beats that are considered masculine.
Right.
I think that it probably just caters to men by default.
Mhm.
Although, you know, I don't know. I listen to that kind of music too, though, and I'm not a man, so it's like,
Yeah, yeah.
um,
Because
I would assume that they would be able to as well.
sometimes I think about like listening to other artists, like male R&B artists, they make songs and stuff, for the guys, and they make certain stuff like love
Mm.
songs for the ladies. You get what I'm saying? But
Right.
you know,
Like the softer stuff for the women, and
yeah,
then like, yeah, I get what you mean.
yeah. I've never like thought of I've never like fully thought about, oh, okay, I'm gonna write this song for men, I'm gonna write this song for female. I just kind of, like you said, kind of just go with what I can relate to, what I feel. Um, but
For
yeah,
sure. No, and like part of that, also with, that, like I try not to, and although and I think some women have fallen into this trap of just like, at least some gay women from music that I've heard written by other gay women is like objectifying women, and that's not something that I want to do in my music.
yeah, I've
And
I've
like,
heard that. Yeah.
yeah, like, and don't get me wrong, like I understand, and I understand that it's catering to a certain audience, and
Mhm.
obviously the ramifications of a woman objectifying another woman is very different.
Mhm.
But nonetheless, it's something I try to avoid to do, even if men like might listen to it and like it a bit more. Like that's not something I want to do,
Right.
as much. And obviously, objectifying is not the same as like rapping about like love or like anything like that. But it's just a border you have to make sure you don't cross, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I try not to
Definitely.
collaborate with men who frequently object women either, because that's
Yeah, that's
not
too
something I
much
want to
for me.
condone. And it's hard in hip hop to avoid that, but you
Yeah.
can. Once you find the right people, you're good.
Yeah, because it's so mainstream. It's like,
It is.
So would you say that would you be okay with, for the rest of your music career, having supporters or listeners that are mostly male, or do you feel like you want more female supporters?
I would like it to be pretty evenly split, or at least I want to have some female fans. I do
Mhm.
not want all male fans. I mean, there's no reason, there's no like nothing wrong with that. I just think that like it would be a little confusing to me. I'd be like, why are only men listening? But like that would, I mean, I guess it would be fine either way. But like, as
Yeah.
long as I have supporters, I don't really care what their gender is. Supporters are supporters, and as long as they respect me and like what I'm doing, that's all I really need. And if that happens to be just mostly men, then there you go. But I have checked my Spotify gender thing, and
Mhm.
the distribution of listeners. I have like 130 right now.
Okay.
And yeah, and like it's pretty much evenly split. From last time I checked, so pretty
Yeah.
neat.
Yeah. Same here. I'm gonna just go with the flow. Like, whoever truly supports me, truly supports me. You can't really control that,
Me
but
too. Yeah.
yeah.
The one thing I do hope is that I have a good amount of LGBT listeners, because some of my music does cater towards that, and I would
Yeah.
like to be able to at least contribute to the community in a good way. It'd be really cool to perform at like a Pride festival one day in the future. That'd be pretty cool. But yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. The best thing is to always, have that audience that can truly relate to what you want to express. Like, if that makes sense.
no, for
Eh,
sure. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Okay. So, do you think it's easier for women to get a pass for being, like, say they're a low skilled artist, right? They're barely making it, right? But they're being pushed to the mainstream. Do you feel like it's easier for women to get a pass when they're more physically appealing compared to guys?
So like an industry plant kind of thing, or like
Um,
just in
just
general,
in
like
general,
being
I would
famous
say,
based off looks. Okay.
yeah.
It is definitely, I think women can use their looks to their advantage more than men can.
Mhm.
But that's, that can come with its problems as well.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think I don't really like, I feel like every artist brings something to the table, and
Yeah.
I don't want to think that like there's some female rappers that are like just about looks, or like just about, like
Right.
they've got something good for them, right? I mean, like they've got something good to bring, whether it's there's, rap over good instrumentals, have good wordplay, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um,
Cause
so I don't like to think that there's too many artists out there who are just famous for their looks, but I don't know. I mean, it depends on the person who
it
thinks
really
that, but
depends. Yeah.
yeah. But I honestly, like, I don't think people would have that many listeners if like they didn't at least make something catchy.
Yeah, cause sometimes, like, double XL, like, when the
Yeah.
female artists are doing their freestyles, or they're like kind of dressed a little more, they're showing a lot more skin, right? Sometimes the
Mhm.
guys will like bypass what they're saying. and
Oh, and just
just
not really like pay
yeah.
attention. Yeah. Yeah, that's not good. I mean, like
That
women should be able to dress how they want and still be listened to properly. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
And even if it's like in a good way, like, oh, they're not getting criticized as harshly, like, treat them like men. Like, come on, like, just,
Yeah.
yeah, it should be equal.
Yeah.
And I think that's what every woman's really striving for at the end of the day.
Yeah, not saying that, there are women out there that only focus on guys' looks, rather
Oh
than
no, for sure. Yeah.
yeah, they can be saying the worst things about females, but as long as they look attractive, the girls are like
Right? Oh my God.
it happens
Yeah.
often, but it is what it is.
True.
Okay, so, what are some labels and stereotypes do you see in women versus men in the rap music business?
Man, I mean, to be honest, like I didn't really grow up with hip hop.
Right.
So I've only really been exposed to hip hop since like 2017, 2016. But
Okay.
from what I've seen, I think a lot of the stereotypes for women is just like they rap about sex all the time, and like
Mhm.
that's it. When people think of male rappers to start, they think of many different genres. You got trap, you got boom bap, you got different regions, you got different
Right.
ethnicities. But when people think of female rappers, they just think of like the mainstream, like Megan Thee Stallion, Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, and they're phenomenal. Don't get me wrong,
Right.
but like that's all people think about. So then they create these stereotypes because they don't realize that there's female rappers in literally every genre, and there always has been.
Yeah.
You know, that's a big issue. And so there's like not many stereotypes about male rappers besides like ones that derive from race.
Right.
Um, there's a lot of like for just in general female rappers of like they just rap about sex, they're not good, they're just in it for like the looks, like whatever. And it's bull obviously, but oh, excuse my language, sorry.
No, you're
It's not
fine.
good.
Yeah, it's not good. Cover it with that. Yeah. Yeah, so I grew up like I think I'm not 100% sure, but the first female rapper I heard was either I don't know if you heard of a rapper called Eve.
I
Um
don't think so.
okay, Eve. It was either Eve or Missy Elliott. So
Mm.
so I'm sure like everyone, everyone's perspective of what the female rapper looks is different, but for me, growing up, I've seen the mainstream female rappers that we have now, with the looks and like talking about, different, inappropriate things here and there sometimes. But then I
Mm.
also grew up, listening to some of the female rappers like my mom grew up listening to, like I'm gonna throw some names out there like, Moni Love, like, Left Eye TLC, like just different.
Kinda, a little bit. I should know these things. These are things that I should be knowing, so I apologize.
No, it's fine. Like there's Queen Latifah when she was
Oh yeah, I
rapping.
know her.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And then there's Lady of Rage. Like there's just so
I've
many.
heard a bit of Ladybug Mecca. I don't know if you're familiar with her.
Oh no, I'm not. I'm not.
Okay,
I
yeah,
should
she's
look
well, she's
into
from like
that.
the 2000s, but she's really good.
Okay.
But she's kind of like that. Like she's more of like the lyrical sort of like, yeah.
Okay. And then Lauren Hill, she does the little that
Oh, of
soulful
course,
rap.
yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot of women from the from the earlier generations that weren't showing off everything they got. They weren't showing the goodies, but they were focused
Yeah.
on the messages in their lyrics and their flow and cadence, their styles.
Hmm.
But
I would argue though that you can focus on both. Like I always take
true,
Megan Thee Stallion
true,
for an example. She has a lot of sex appeal, but she's also like a genuinely incredible rapper. Like
true,
she has an
true.
album that's like fully freestyles, and it's like crazy. Like I don't know how she does it. I can't freestyle, and it's an issue. I'm working on it, but it's very difficult.
It's
Um,
tough. Same here. It's
it's
really
so
tough.
hard.
You
Once I could write things down, like give me an hour and I'll write a song, but like I don't know.
yeah,
Freestyling's so hard.
yeah. It's like the first bar, like I have a cat. He likes to eat the rat. Like like
Yeah.
you can't. Like I don't know. It's just you have to have like a certain mind process to just come off the dome, like just to go and
Mhm.
go. Like that's a skill right there.
It's very hard, yeah.
Yeah. So do you feel? I mean, we talked about this, but do you feel that the hip hop community is still dominated by males, or do you feel
Oh
like it's
yeah, for
becoming
sure.
more balanced? Because there
It's
is
becoming more balanced, but I don't think it's going to be like that for a while. Because if you still look at like the XXL freshman list, like it's two women, and like
right.
15 men. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So it's like I don't know. It'll be a bit, but it'll happen eventually.
Do you feel like Double XL could, because they have the ability to scout more female rappers and put them on there? Do you feel like
Me
they
too.
might not want to take the chance to put like, oh, 4 or 5 females, and then you know what I'm saying? Like, do you feel like
They
they?
took a risk with Saucy Santana and it went badly. And I don't think they're going to take any more risks, which sucks because people are just being homophobic. His freestyle
Mm,
was fine. Like 21 Savage's freestyle was crap that one year and nobody said anything. The second a gay man has a bad freestyle or like even a mid freestyle, everyone's like, pissed off, but that's a whole nother situation. But I
yeah,
don't think that I just hope that that doesn't prevent them from taking risks.
yeah,
But we'll see.
yeah. We'll see. I
I
feel,
hope they do. I hope they do. I hope they do because we do need like it's smart to spice it up anyway. Put some more women in there. Come on.
yeah. But you feel like in the independent scene, you think is more balanced, or?
Yeah, I'd say it's more balanced.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'd say so. I'm
Cause
probably
there's,
gonna get a lot more respect here than I am, and if I ever, if I go to the big leagues, that's for sure.
yeah, cause there's
So,
a, I feel like there's just so much hidden talent, like including us. Hint, hint.
yeah.
But yeah, I feel like there's just so much talent out there. You can't. You gotta. That's why with us, the difficult part is promoting ourselves and like saying, "Hey, listen to my music. This is why you should listen to my music because
Mhm.
this." We don't
Mhm.
have
For sure.
we don't have the managers, the big teams, the labels that help push you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, that's very true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. And it's easy. It is nice though to have that sort of like ability to craft your own image. But at the same time, it's nice to. But my cousin signed. His name's Rome. Rhome. He's my first cousin. We both
Oh,
rap, and that is a complete coincidence.
wow.
Which is really fun, right? I'm seeing him
Yeah.
soon, which is a good time. But well, I might be able to. He's in Miami right now, and I'm going to LA where his parents live. But
Okay.
basically, like he's signed, and I'm pretty sure like they do all that stuff for him, and like
Mhm.
it's a lot easier on that point. Like he's got a very polished social media page. He's got great album work. He gets like features all the time from like bigger artists,
Wow.
stuff like that. So that is there are advantages to both, I would say, but yeah.
A little off topic. I just wanted your opinion. What do you think about the whole drill rap wave, like the UK drill rap and the New York? Yeah, what do you think
I think
about?
it's dope. I mean, I don't listen to it, but like, good for y'all. This one guy keeps trying to get me on a drill beat, and I'm like, literally, no. Why would you want me, a girl from Michigan, on a drill beat? Like, I'm so sorry. I am so removed from the drill scene. Like, I don't even know a single artist like that I've worked with who's done drill. I don't think.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, no, I'm not doing it. Maybe one day, but not right now. But it's cool. I think it's neat. I think it's I liked Pop Smoke stuff a lot. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you the spotlight here with this
All right.
question. What advice would you give to female artists just starting out on their music journey?
Yeah. I would say just stick to it and be prepared to face a lot of crap. You're gonna get a lot of sexism. You're gonna get a lot of hate. Try not to let it bring you down. Connect with
Mhm.
other female artists who have a support system. Definitely try to, avoid if you think a man's creepy and he wants to work with you, just don't take the chance. As much as you think that it might help you, just don't do it.
Yeah.
You're better than that. You'll find somebody else. Like seriously. And just make sure you know what you're worth. Don't degrade yourself. And I didn't mean degrade yourself as in don't work with people who you don't take any crap. Don't work with people just because they're famous or whatever. Just
Yeah.
hold your ground, be careful, and definitely make some female friends, and you'll be all right. You'll have a good time.
Yeah.
That's my advice.
Amazing, perfectly said. I'll
Thank
even
you.
I'll even add on to that and say it's all about establishing your brand and don't let anyone don't waste your time or energy on people that do not reciprocate, you know?
Fully
Um
agree. Yeah.
yeah, because they'll take your energy and throw it right in the trash and then you'll be
Hmm.
left drained. So
Yeah,
just
that's
be
very true.
aware. All right, Jay, let's get down to the nitty-gritty. Let's talk about mental health, one of the most important
For
things
sure. Yes, yes.
that I feel like people should talk about more, but in a weird way I still feel like the idea of sitting down talking about mental health is still underrated. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about how to prevent a mental breakdown because I feel like so many people uh go through they burn out or they have a breakdown and they don't understand what's going on with them, especially if it's the first time that it's happening to them.
Yes, exactly. Yes, yes.
So I
Fully
feel
agree.
like people should be more aware about this. So,
Hmm.
in your opinion, what are some signs that you or you feel like someone else could be having a mental breakdown or about to have one?
Yeah, so the reason why I chose this topic is because I had one in about late September, early September actually. I have OCD and I'm pretty open about this. I'm
Oh,
actually my
okay,
mixtape coming up is going to be mostly about that. Metaphorically, I'm probably not going to go into the nitty-gritty
gotcha.
too much, but I had a pretty bad, breakdown of that. And I mine's episodic. It comes once every 4 years usually.
Okay,
But I forgot about it cuz it'd been so long and I, forgot like, oh, this is going to happen again probably. And it did. I made a big change with moving and just things kind of spiraled out of control. And I ended up in the hospital. I'm okay
mm,
now. I'm completely
okay,
recovered. But I'd say the one thing is like when you think that you're starting to do bad with whatever you have, just like please just get therapy. Do not wait till the last minute.
yeah,
It is
facts,
very unfortunate that not everyone can afford therapy.
yeah.
To avoid BetterHelp, crap. Do not. I'm so sorry. I'm very passionate about how much I hate BetterHelp. They suck. They've been like selling people's data and stuff. It's yeah, not good. So don't go to BetterHelp if it's even if it's cheap. Just don't do it, please. There's other ways to get around it.
Mhm,
But like if you can't do therapy, like start meditation or like try to talk to a professional in some way.
mhm.
And just make sure that you're not without any help at all. That is just something that you should do consistently. And if you know that you have a mental health issue, make sure you're either on medicine or going to consistent therapy, doing some sort of like therapy practice. Just make sure you're consistent with it and don't get off it because there's no point. You might, regret that.
Yeah, definitely. I will also add in there too to look up YouTube videos. There's a lot of people who are into like spirituality and like
Mm-hmm.
talking about mental health. Like people who are starting their own businesses on YouTube, they have one-on-one consultation. I cannot, I cannot
You're
talk
good.
today. Okay, you could basically
Consultation.
have. Thank you. You could have a one-on-one with them and talk to them about your issues. So there's a lot of people online. I mean, you just have to, I guess, trust your intuition and go which what works for you.
For
Uh,
sure.
and then also I would say, going out into nature and stuff. Like if you have a spot somewhere where where you could feel the nice breeze, the trees and plants, like just be around nature, just hear the birds chirp and just like focus on like self-awareness and
Mm-hmm.
just
Yeah, that's
focusing.
like meditation practically,
Yeah,
and that's
pretty
it
much.
helps a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very good advice.
Yeah, and just it's really hard to focus on the present because you're like, oh snap, I have this next the next 10 minutes. I got this.
Mm-hmm. No, for sure, for sure. It's a
Okay.
skill and it takes a lot of practice, but it is very useful.
Yeah. Uh, what do you think are some causes that result in you having a breakdown?
Personally, it is my OCD. Like, I'll start ruminating about whatever. I have what people call pure obsessional OCD, although that's not true. It's like a dumb title.
Okay.
Um, Basically, my compulsions are not visible. They're like mostly mental. So I'm not
Okay.
like doing anything like physical to where people can see. Well, for
Oh.
me, a lot of it is seeking reassurance about whatever I'm worried about, like constantly. But the reassurance is never enough. So it just sort of like keeps cycling, and it's really bad because it does bother the people around me. But if I'm not doing that, I'm reassuring myself in my head, and it's still bad.
Wait, Jay,
So
that's interesting. Can you go back and talk about like the OCD? I see.
yeah.
I only see that like what they show about OCD is like, oh, people like repeating things till it feels right. But I never
Hmm.
knew the mental, like there's a difference between the mental and the
Yes, there
physical of
is.
OCD. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, no, there definitely is. So I'll just give an example, and although this isn't like my situation from
Mhm.
like I've never like I don't have an example. Like so say that you have an intrusive thought that you're gonna like hurt a dog and you're like, why do I have this thought? Should I be worried about it? You shouldn't. It's just an intrusive thought. But someone
Mhm.
with OCD doesn't know that and will just keep trying to reassure themselves mentally, like, I'm not gonna hurt this dog, I'm not gonna hurt this dog. Or they
Mhm.
might go out of their way to avoid dogs so they don't get the thoughts. And if they still do, they're still trying to reassure themselves constantly, but they just keep coming back
Mm.
because OCD is like a loop, and
Yeah.
people with OCD do have different brains than people who don't have it.
Yeah.
So the reassurance won't work, and they're just kind of stuck in that loop for a while, and it's really annoying and very hard because they think they're some sort of monster even though they're not. Um, And that's the kind of thoughts I used to struggle with. Then I had this like weird obsession about like living situations, which stemmed from like other crap, but
Yeah.
um, so just like weird stuff like that, just sort of like you get in a loop about something and it is not good. So,
Okay.
yeah.
And so then the physical part would be like actually redoing things. Like it would.
Yeah, yeah, like people with like more physical types of OCD might think like I got to check the lock a bunch of times or else I'm gonna die or like whatever, like I
Oh,
gotta check the
okay.
lock, and then they just like keep checking to make sure, and then their brain's like, but what if it's not locked? And then like it's just like something, yeah, it's like that.
That's so amazing. It's kind of like a OD version of like paranoia mixed with anxiety. Would you say?
For sure, yeah, I would, yeah, there's a big paranoia part of it,
Okay.
especially of like if you're scared, people can read your mind, when it's like that's never the case. Usually, if I'm
Mhm.
like obsessing, like no one can even tell, um,
Okay.
and like it's just like I don't know, it's just an interesting thing, um,
Yeah. So
but yeah.
so have you seen or helped someone going through a mental breakdown?
Oh, many times, unfortunately.
Yeah.
A lot of my friends struggle with mental illness as well, and actually, just recently, one of my online friends, we had to call the police on him,
Mhm.
because he was not in a safe place. But he is okay.
Mhm.
He's okay now. He's finally gotten proper therapy and all that. But usually, when my friends are going through a really rough time, I either stay up with them or just like, if it's not an emergency, just tell them, make sure to make an appointment with your psychiatrist. Make sure you're um, you know, not home alone and like you talking
Right.
to someone if you need company, like, you know, just giving them the advice I do myself. But yeah.
Yeah, oh, this was years ago, but I had me and a group of other people in my class at the time. We had to help someone like calm down from anxiety attack because
Mm.
there was people in the class that were saying like very rude things.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's
So
hard.
we were in the bathroom basically like helping her calm down. I was there like reassuring her, like putting my like hand on her shoulder, like
Oh, good.
just
Yeah,
making sure
that's
everything's okay. So
that definitely can help.
yeah, cause myself, I experienced like bad anxiety attacks, panic attack. The first attack I had was scary. I was like,
Yeah.
what is going on with me? It's like some entity just went inside me and was trying to suck everything away from me.
Right, yeah, no, literally. I don't experience them really that much, but I definitely understand that feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not fun.
Yeah, the first times are usually like more crucial because it's your first time experiencing it. You have no idea what's going on.
Mhm.
Okay. So
Yeah. A little freaky.
so what would you advise others should do when they're around someone having a mental breakdown?
Yeah, I mean, mental breakdowns versus like panic attacks, are different. When I
Mhm.
think of like mental breakdown, I think of like you're gonna harm yourself or others, and you're not being like yourself at all. Like in
Okay.
that case, you call authorities or you drive them to the hospital.
Mhm.
Like there's really nothing else you can do. Like
Okay.
you can try to coax them out of it, talk them down, and of course that works. But if it's really bad, like it's out of your hands now. You know what I mean?
Right.
As much as they might not want to go, like yeah, they gotta go.
Mhm.
And it sucks, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
And if someone's just having like a panic attack, like make sure they're okay, give them some space if they want, bring them water, bring them food, something to distract them too. That helps as well. I know
Mhm.
some people with autism, if they have meltdowns, I've heard that, asking, like, hey, do you need anything? But don't touch them.
Right.
A lot of people with autism, if they're having a meltdown, want to be left alone. So, maybe ask someone, like, if you know someone is prone to those, then, like, ask them, what helps.
Mhm.
Everybody's different, but what
Yeah.
is
Yeah. Were you
like I
Oh, I'm sorry to cut you off.
you're good, I'm done.
Okay. What would you say? Were you ever paranoid about possibly like having another breakdown after you like previously had one?
Yeah, a little bit more recently.
Mhm.
Because my first one, it wasn't really a huge breakdown. Like I didn't end up anywhere. I was okay, but it was very, very, very bad episode of OCD. It lasted for like
Okay.
3 or 4 months.
Yeah. Okay.
And
I'm
at
sorry
first,
to
like
hear.
after that happened, oh, it's okay. Thank you. I mean, I'm good now.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of a blessing in disguise, and I'll talk about that in a second. But
Mhm.
Um, like after the second one though, the most recent one, I was a little bit freaked out. I'm a little bit scared that because what's happened when I moved away from home, I'm scared it's gonna happen again. But
Mhm.
I know what it's like. I know if it creeps up on me, I know what to do. I know how to like get it through it. Like so, it's fine.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm properly medicated. I got a regular therapist. Like I'm chilling. I'll be fine. Like
Yeah.
even if
Mhm.
it's like a little bit difficult for like a week, I'll be fine. So
Yeah.
I'm not as paranoid because like I'm very confident that things will not get out of hand.
Right, right, definitely. I feel like,
Mhm.
when I became more spiritual, I was able to control, certain old habits that I do not want to
Right.
go
Yeah.
back to.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean that stuff helps too. Yeah.
do you think there is a difference between like having a mental breakdown caused by external factors, so like people, family, co-workers, your environment, versus
Hmm.
it's more internal factors, which is like the pressure you put on yourself, or like self-torturing?
Very interesting. I mean, probably. I've never luckily had a situation with outside factors that was like so bad that I was like,
Yeah.
even if I thought the outside factors were wrong, it was just like my OCD trying to convince me of like bullcrap.
Right.
So it's like, but I don't know. There's probably a difference. I would say it's hopefully a bit easier to recover from things that are external because you can have that control over that.
Mhm.
Um, a little like you can remove yourself from situations, but that's also not always possible. So I understand. No, I don't know. I would say they're probably different. When I was in the hospital, the psychiatric hospital, there were a few people who definitely seemed like they were having it harder than me because their issues were external.
Oh,
Like
okay.
here I was going to college. I had a nice home. I was in a nice area, and some of these people were like either like on drugs or like were really poor or like
Right.
were going to jail for something. Um, so I think it just depends on the person, but
Yeah,
also
true.
it's hard. It's hard. Like that stuff's also very hard.
Yeah,
So I
definitely.
don't, I don't want to minimize either situation. Both are very difficult things to go through.
Yeah. So what are currently some healthy habits you have
Hmm.
now, or some maybe some healthy home remedies you use?
For sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I first of all set screen time limits on social media.
Oh,
Um,
definitely.
yeah, because that stuff can either get toxic and it's also just not good for your brain, the way that they
Yeah.
have their algorithms set up.
Oh, yeah.
And you feel better when you do something more productive with your time, even if it's like watching a show. At least you're getting something more out of it than like
Mhm.
talk.
I get so
So,
tired of those darn cookies and advertisements.
right? Oh my gosh. Oh, just want to like buy like because they have like those bulk candy videos too. I'm like, oh, I want to order like 15 bags of these. Um, but yeah, so like even just something else that's a little bit better with your time.
Yeah.
Reducing screen time helps a lot.
Mhm.
Going for walks, doing exercise. I'm very
Mhm.
blessed to have a job right now where I walk a lot.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
that helps.
Yeah,
Um,
for me, I would say I listen to music and just dance crazy like nobody's watching.
that is also good. Just being yourself, doing something like that. And obviously, like if you are creative, like be creative. Like writing music is like after I went through my breakdown and I was trying to cope with it, like I just started writing and I've been on that creative high since then. Like I have not stopped and it's just
Right.
great.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I guess that goes hand in hand with the next question, which would be, what would you advise to someone listening who's suffering mentally from breakdowns, or mental health issues? Which I feel like we pretty much kind of covered that. Would you say?
No, I mean, yeah, just make sure you get therapy, get professional help if you can. That's the best.
Mhm.
Talk to friends and family, but at the same time, they may not be able to help you with the issues that a professional can do. So, don't fall for online therapy scams, and also go
Mhm.
for walks and like learn meditation and stuff because that's also helpful.
Okay.
Um,
Are,
and
are,
a lot of therapists will tell you to do that. So.
yeah. We're almost wrapping up here, but I just want to talk about with you, Jay. How to catch yourself when you may be going into a bad place. But I
Mhm.
feel like I want to tie this more into like being a music artist. So,
Hmm.
what do
Mhm.
you do when you're in a bad place as a music artist? Like,
Um. Yeah. I mean, like, I haven't luckily experienced too hard of situations as yet because I've just kind of started really going hard into my musical journey and I've mostly been okay.
mhm,
But I'd say just being like I would say, if you're not if you're finding trouble being creative, if you're not eating, if you're not sleeping,
Yeah.
or your eating habits are changing, you just feel down and stuff like that. That's when you just like, just check in, just get some help, even if it's not a big deal. If you
Mhm.
think it's not a big deal, just like, might as well get started with it. You'll get something out of it. It'll
Yeah.
prevent you from spiraling. I think that's just catching it early is really what's important.
Yeah.
Um,
Has anyone in music tried to make you feel bad on purpose to just ruin your mood?
mm. Yes, and it's funny actually. This is a very funny story. I think this is a child who did this. So I posted on Reddit a while ago, and I was talking about sexism actually in the industry, which is
Right.
really funny because a lot of men just gave me like free beats after that. It was great.
Oh.
I think they felt bad. And I actually made a few friends from that thread. Like Tap Daddy Beats. Shout out Tap Daddy Beats. He's so fun. I love him.
Okay. Shout out.
Um, yeah, shout out. But like this one person, I don't know, like I posted my music and like they heard my music and then they're like, man, you friggin' suck. Um,
Oh
and
boy.
they didn't swear at all, right? But
Mhm.
they made a SoundCloud hate page for me called
What?
Plantana Trash Water. I don't know what it means, but I was laughing
What?
so hard. I was actually happy because I was like, I'm relevant enough to someone make an entire SoundCloud account. Like I was so
Yeah.
happy. So I think this person tried to make me feel bad, but like was it obviously like a child? And like was like censoring their swear words as like they were typing.
Mhm.
Which it was kind of endearing. I was like, "Aw, like you're trying." It was cute. But like
Wow.
it was really funny. I don't know who this person was. I think it was someone who does this quite regularly, just like makes accounts to like hate on people because they're like lonely and like probably like 10 years old, but like
Wow.
it was funny. It was really funny. The account's gone, I think now, which is very sad, but it was a good time. Uh,
That is
but
crazy.
so I think it's the one situation where someone like actually tried to like bring me down. It did not work. Actually, it brought me up. But
That is wow. That I have no words for that. Like he
I
went
know it was
all
crazy.
the way to do that, wasting
Yeah, pretty
time.
nuts. Yeah, right. Like, go like play a video game or like I don't know, like kick a soccer ball. What are you doing, bro?
Okay, so how do you create a strong mentality for yourself? Like what are some things that it takes? Do you feel that it takes to create this strong mindset when it could be in general or just being a musician?
Strong circle of friends helps a
Mhm.
lot. You know,
Yeah.
therapy, obviously, as I've mentioned before.
Mhm.
And just like making sure people don't walk over you. You've kind of mentioned that before.
Yeah.
Setting boundaries, stuff like that. Doing
Mhm.
stuff you enjoy. Don't let yourself, do shit you like. You like do stuff you like.
Mhm.
In case, and you might say like, oh, I got work to do and stuff, and it's like, yeah, but you got to take breaks too.
True.
If you can, obviously, some people are not able to, which is not fun. But when you do have free time, just make sure you can spend it well doing stuff you like, and I think that's always good. And I think really just like making sure to not sort of go against your own values as well,
True.
and just like
Yeah.
make sure you're doing what you want to do, and like don't try to chase if especially from a creative standpoint, don't do things just to like chase fame or like chase clout and stuff. Make sure
Mhm.
you're doing things that like you agree with and that you'd agree with and that you're not changing just to be
Be
like in the
original. Be
spotlight. Be
authentic.
original for sure, because no one's gonna get famous if you're not original. Like even the most lame artist is probably famous because they're original. Like just think
Exactly.
about it. You know what I mean? Like that's genuinely one of the most important things as an artist.
Yeah.
If you're like somebody else, no one's gonna listen to you like at all. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
Even someone like Babytron, and I'm not saying Babytron's bad, but like Babytron's definitely very unique, and that's probably why he's
Yeah.
famous. I don't know if you're familiar with him. He's an artist from Ypsilanti, Michigan.
Yeah, I see
Not
him
from
on
yeah,
Double XL. Yeah, he's
yeah,
cool.
yeah. He's from Ypsi. He's like from 30 minutes away from me. I actually work
Oh,
right by where he's from. Yep.
that's
Um,
cool.
I want to meet him. I want to meet him because I'm probably gonna try to start do some stuff in Ypsi.
Yeah,
But
I would
anyway,
be ready for that
um,
collab.
yeah, that'd be crazy, right?
Yeah.
But I don't have a name for myself in that area. It'd be like, who are you? But um, nonetheless,
Yeah.
just in general, like being unique is important. And I think that if you're gonna be, you got to make sure to have a strong mentality to be able to be yourself creatively.
Yeah. So I would say we're going to be ending off soon, but what's your
hmm
take or advice for anyone who wants to give up because they're in a bad place or they just feel hopeless because of the situation they're in?
Yeah, I mean, of course, there's different degrees to giving up.
Right.
if you are actually going to hurt yourself, then I don't have many words for you besides it will get better. And, although you definitely, if someone's considering that, they don't believe me. So what I would do is just, please just see a professional. They can word it in a lot better ways than I can. And I've, as many times as I can, repeat that, it won't really settle in until you get help.
Yeah.
But if someone just wants to give up on their creative endeavors because they don't think that they're successful, or they don't think that it's gonna go well for them, like, just keep trying. Because there was a point, like, a few years, I could not write a full song. I don't know why, but I could not do it. And then something clicked one day, and suddenly I could do it.
Right.
And I think part of that was just going through things and, like, taking a break and just sort of, like, listening to more music and, like, exploring more genres and stuff. So
Right.
just give it some time. Maybe switch up the routine, try a new approach to your creative stuff, and you will get there. Just give it some time. If it's really meant to be, you will get better. Like,
Yeah.
I've tried so many creative stuff in the past. I tried to be an artist, drawing. I tried to, like, sing. I tried to produce. None of it really fit. And then I found rapping, and I was like, oh, like, this is what fits. So just, if I don't know what I'm going with that, but just,
Yeah.
if it's meant to be, like, you will improve. Just
Yeah, I would add in, if you want it, then go get it. But also,
hmm
at the same time, you have to enjoy the process, you know?
Yes, if you don't enjoy the process, it's not for you. Like, that's
Yeah.
it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I always have to tell myself this, ask myself, like, if I had just 100,000 like supporters, right? What would I do with it? Am I ready to
Mm,
handle that yet right now?
right.
It's like
That's it.
I want it, but am I ready for it?
Right.
So
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
so
Um,
take it step
yeah.
by step, guys.
Yes, for sure. Yeah. And I mean, what I mean by enjoy the process, obviously there's going to be hard things for whatever creative
Mhm.
field, but if you're not finding yourself having fun with it and, like, really, like, getting involved, then, like, it
Yeah,
may not be worth it.
and just have fun. Do
Exactly.
just
Just have fun.
yeah. I don't really like when certain people take things like too serious. Like, no shame to them because that's them. But for me, I just like to be chill with it. Just improving my skill set, skill level, but also just having fun. So
Me too.
yeah. All right, Jay. This has been amazing. I think this has been a great
Yes, I
conversation.
agree.
Did you enjoy it?
Yes, 100%.
Let's
Thank you so
go.
much.
So
Yes.
before we get out of here, Jay, just tell everyone what's next for J.Plantana. Any
Ooh,
news projects?
yeah. Yeah, so today, actually, I'm filming a music video for a Tap Daddy Beats cipher. He does them about every 2 to 3
Ooh,
weeks. Me and this one rapper called Marundo are meeting up because he's also from Michigan. We're going to film something. We've been cooking something up. Very
nice.
cool. It's like a little detective theme. Super neat. You guys will like it. You guys will love it, actually, and should be on my SoundCloud in about a couple days. So yeah,
Okay.
pretty cool stuff. And I'm working on a mixtape. So it's gonna be called Better Upset. It's gonna explore some cool topics, and yeah, it's very
Oh,
excited
nice.
to do all that stuff. Yeah.
Can't wait, Jay. I wish you
Thank
nothing but
you.
success, happiness, and peace. And
You too.
once again, thanks for coming on here because you didn't have to, but you did, and you were great and amazing. So I
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank you. I
All,
appreciate you too. Thank
oh,
you, man.
thank you. All right, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you anything here you could relate to with anything we talked about, make sure to share it. Maybe someone could use this. Make sure to like, comment, and if you're new, subscribe. Thank you guys once again for tuning in, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Ray, we did it.
Bye. Yay.
Bye.
That was so fun.
J.Plantana. Oh.
They got that feeling.
That feeling.
Got that feeling.
It's so good in the
Got that
club.
feeling.
Put it in a time capsule.
They got that feeling.
Sunshine and rainbows.
Got that feeling.
Dig it up in 20 years. Vibing in the same boat.
She got that feeling.
Cause it all appear the same to me. It's
Feeling. Got that feeling.
remember times I debate my baggage. Holding on to something in a white straight jacket. September days in the past, it happened. Moving to the function, I attract them like a magnet. See me down Abbott, see me down Hagedorn. Bumping music, a figure you might adore. It's amusing the way I took the other door. Snuck up in the party, but